Oh,
All right. And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Lunch and Debates. I'm your co host, Dibo, along with my other co host, Matt.
pleasure to be back. Pleasure to be back. You know, when we first started doing in person, haters didn't think we could keep it consistent.
Not all.
But look where we are.
Well, we're still shining. Episodes on the daily, still in person, man. Seeing our beautiful faces with our beautiful fits as well. We're out here, man. We're out here.
Beautiful fits is questionable. I was rushing from work. I pre-picked this earlier, but it's a little bummy fit. But it's comfy. It's comfy for a podcast.
Hey, you always gotta go with the comfortable fit.
100%.
Always have to.
100%.
Always have to.
But I do see you're in sweatpants too. It is a bit chilly here in Colorado. One thing that I did notice this year, we didn't really have a winter.
Actually, no, bro. This week has been fantastic.
Oh, bro,
phenomenal weather.
Lovely weather.
Phenomenal weather, and you add the fact that we're gonna have daylight savings day
When?
in like 3 weeks from now. I'm pretty sure.
Are we? What is it? Is it going up an hour or going back an hour?
We're going up an hour,
Ooh,
so we're gonna have 7 o'clock sunsets.
lovely.
It's gonna be coming soon, and I
Lovely.
can't wait.
And
bro.
that's when you wake
the
up.
best.
That's when you wake up and there's sunlight already. You're not waking up to the dark anymore either.
No, you're not. Oh, yeah, sunsets. Yeah, 7 o'clock sunsets.
Do you ever get like the seasonal depression, where, like winters, you kind of like when it's always dark, you kind of get that bummy mood, but in summers you're always like shining bright.
Oh, absolutely. Especially after the holiday season, once that's over, and you get to the period where it's the start of January, the start of the new year, new year. Excuse me. After like New Year's Day, it's kind of like that weird spot to where there's no holidays, and again, it's still cold outside, and the days are much shorter. It's not a good time of the year.
Nah, you can definitely get down on those days. You can definitely get down. But for being Colorado, for being known for snow, I feel like we had a very minimal amount of snow days this year.
Nah, barely, bro. And like when the snow actually comes, it's during the weirdest times. Like there was a winter storm last Friday actually too.
Yeah.
Bro, that same day I actually went to go see Madam Web at night. It was like in a 7:30, 8 p.m. showing. Movie was horrible, by the way. One of the worst movies I've ever seen by far. If you're wondering how bad Madam Web is, bro, it's horrible. It's
Who's
like
in it?
all-time worst movie of all time. Dakota Johnson, that's the main lead, and Sydney Sweeney.
I'm not a huge superhero movie type person, but I'm sure we got some viewers who are. So good advice.
Yeah, I'm sure as well. But Madam Web, that was a horrible movie. I could get into a long rant about that, but I'm not going to because of time. But it was a bad experience, and I had to still drive home in the snow. I tried to get all like the frost off and the snow off my car. I couldn't get all of it off. Bro, it was super cold as well too, man. So it was a pain in the ass.
No, the roads were horrible on Friday.
Bro, I could barely see the roads.
Yeah.
I could barely see the roads.
I was cat sitting. I was in Greenwood Village. I was cat sitting, and I go to my car after I'm cat sitting. I was maybe at the house for like 2 hours. So let me restart. So I got to the house at 4:45. I'm leaving probably 7 o'clock. So like 2 hours 15 minutes. It took me a good 10 minutes to defrost my windshield. Just putting straight heat on it like max.
Yeah, man.
It was a rough day for Colorado weather.
Pain in the ass, bro. Such a pain in the ass.
But with that being said, you want to get into today's episode?
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to get into our agenda to kick it off? Excuse me.
Yes. So, the main segment that we're going to be talking about is contenders versus pretenders in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference for the NBA. But before we get started, we're talking with our producer, our recorder, Seth, and we're talking some soccer, and it got us feeling with the soccer juices. So me and Dibo thought we would do a quick fire of all of this weekend's Premier League soccer fixtures.
Hey, I got one more thing. This is probably the first time you've ever talked about soccer in general since August.
Since the season started, because
Yeah.
we had the segment where we did top four and relegation teams in the Premier League, and that was probably the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, but hopefully we can talk about that a lot more with the NFL out the way. So.
Actually, hold on. Is that true? Remember the reel we made about Messi and Ronaldo's MLS for Saudi League?
When was that?
I can't remember.
Fuck, I'm pretty bro.
Remember.
It had to be around that time.
When was the MLS Cup? Because that's when it was.
MLS Cup?
Yeah.
Because that was in like December.
Then it had to be then.
Damn, really?
Because that's when we were talking about MLS, I think. Because that was when Messi and Inter Miami were making their run.
No, you're talking about the Leagues Cup run, and that was in like July.
Leagues Cup, yeah. Ooh, it might have been Leagues Cup.
Yeah,
it might have been Leagues
different. Cup. But you were speaking on Inter Miami for a little bit. I actually watched that game last night. It was kind of sloppy from both sides, but Miami pulled it out. 2-0 win over Real Salt Lake. Who knows what they'll do? Suarez, he looked fine. Messi was still Messi. That you just see that one clip where he flipped the ball over the guy. Yeah. Yes. Bro, that was crazy, and it was like the perfect inch too. Yeah, the perfect height for that.
Yeah.
That was
if he scored though, instead of getting it blocked, that would have been all over.
There was a lot of opportunities too where he was like, on his typical Messi shit, and he almost did the spectacular. But first game of the MLS season, I can't wait to see how the rest of the year pans out. So hey, who knows?
As the MLS guy, do you got a team you're predicting to lift the trophy at the end of the year?
Yeah, the Colorado Rapids.
Deadass?
No. We're probably gonna finish like around 8th through 10th in our conference.
I think they got a shot for playoffs this year.
Yeah,
we made some good transfers.
Yeah, we made some good moves, but we're probably not at the very top teams of the Western Conference like a Seattle or an LAFC, and even a St. Louis or Houston's. And Kansas City too as well. So, who knows? But we'll see. We'll have to see.
Fair. All right. So you want to get into the games for this weekend?
Yeah, sure. Let's do a quick one.
So starting us off, Aston Villa at home against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, Villa. I really like Villa. Yeah, I haven't been really impressed with Forest this whole year.
Forest they're so like interesting because they don't play bad soccer necessarily, but they also don't play like energetic soccer.
They don't play energetic soccer, and throughout like 90 minutes most of the time, they don't keep that same consistency.
No, they don't. And they're always content for a point. Yeah,
and just look at the town or like across that team, led by Morgan Gibbs White, one of their key guys. They're always in like within most of these games, but again, it's the consistency aspect of it.
Yeah. All right. Next game we have is Crystal Palace at home against Burnley.
I'm gonna say Palace. I'll say Palace.
I'm gonna go with the draw, I think.
Nah, that Burnley team's like really bad.
They are bad. I think they're not 20th, are they?
They're 19th. They're tied. They're tied dead last, but they're 19th.
20th is Sheffield.
Goal differential. 20th, yeah, Sheffield. Sheffield's also really bad.
Yeah, Sheffield's god awful. Palace though, Palace at home are not bad. Their attack hasn't been looking horrible with Olise and Eberechi Eze.
I've always hated their like 9 depth. Their 9 depth's always been trash.
Who have they had in the past? Benteke.
Benteke was like really the last consistent striker up front they've really had.
Who's it right now?
I'm blanking.
They've had Townsend was never a striker. He was always on the
winger.
right.
He was a winger.
He was always on the right. Oh, Ayew, Edouard.
Oh, Jordan Ayew. He plays 9. Oh, Edouard, Lasani Edouard, as well. Oh, and John Felipe Mateta. He's been their main 9 for a minute. I don't really like him.
You don't like him?
Nah, he's probably at the bottom tier of starting Premier League 9s right now. Fair.
Yeah. I can't say I'm too familiar with the game.
Well, they're like, that's one of the biggest issues with that Palace team over like I said before, the past few years is can they get consistent goals from the striker position, which they haven't.
Yeah,
especially the wingers contributing to their attack. Yeah.
I think Joaquin Anderson's gone this summer. I think he's moving on to a bigger club than Palace. But Palace are weird because they had the Patrick Vieira era where he was there for a year and a half, and then they just brought Roy Hodgson right back.
Didn't he get fired? No,
Vieira?
no. I know Vieira got fired, but Hodgson is not the manager anymore.
He's not?
No.
Swear, I thought he was back in there. Who is it?
Olivier Glasner.
It is.
I forgot the team he managed before Palace. Frankfurt.
Oh,
I touched the mic. My fault. Eintracht Frankfurt.
Fair. Let's move on to the next game, where my Red Devils are playing at Old Trafford against Fulham.
Yeah, Man United been playing a lot better ball compared to the start of the year.
Nah. They're
Really?
getting results. They're getting results.
Well, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like with getting results.
Yeah, but the ball looks atrocious still.
That's true.
But yeah, I think we just got more talent than Fulham, so I'll take us to keep getting the points. My second team, Brighton, at home against Everton.
The Zerbi lover.
Which I heard he might go back to Italy, which would be sad.
What? Serie A is a good league.
It is a good league, but I don't watch Serie A. And the Zerbi ball should be watched.
But it's on CBS, Paramount Plus.
It's on Paramount Plus. Is what it's on.
Whoa, you don't have Paramount Plus? It's like $5.
Well, nah. Doesn't Paramount also have Champions League too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's an investment, but I got the Peacock.
But that's like $10 combined between the two.
As crazy as it is, give me Everton. Sean Dyche loves the draws.
Scrapper. They're playing away though, right?
They are playing away.
I'm getting give me Brighton. Give me Brighton. I think they'll be able to break down Everton's back line.
Yeah. Bournemouth hosting Man City.
City easily.
City.
Oh my God, Brentford. I watched the Man City Brentford game this week. Brentford is so close to pulling it off, man. 1-0 loss to Man City. Haaland got the breakaway. That was nasty, man. I was so disappointed.
City just have not been looking like City lately.
Yeah, it's still Man City though. Like they're only 4 points behind Liverpool, us in the title race, and they have a game in hand.
They do have a game in hand.
They haven't been the City of old, where it's just absolute juggernauts. But it's still Man City is still an elite team right now across the world.
I was actually, if you guys had. Because there was a point in that Luton game where you guys were down 1-0. I was so close to texting the group chat, and then I checked my phone 5 minutes later, and it's 2-1 Liverpool.
Nah, we would have been fucked. Hey, shout out the boys, though. We have a lot of guys out right now that are injured, but we just keep pushing it through that Klopp mentality. We going to win one for Klopp this year, man. We going to send them off on a high note.
Nah.
We being Man City and Pep, man.
Nah. We know that the refs are trying to get you guys to win one.
Man, bro, this man's bullshitting. Bro, this man's acting like he's not a Man United fan. Bro, Man United have been one of the most benefited. I don't even know if that's a word.
By VAR?
But yeah, by VAR. VAR United, bro.
Hey, all I'm saying, that game against Brentford, Ivan Toney should have had a pen on that Andy Robertson push or whatever.
That's fair. Fair.
Last game on Saturday, Arsenal at home at the Emirates against Newcastle.
I'm going to take Arsenal. I haven't been impressed with Newcastle, really.
I'm telling you, they got to get rid of Eddie Howe.
That defense looks really bad, really bad. Like, at times, it's just shambolic, is what the Englishmen love to say. Shambolic defending across the board.
And I always, taking, there's always, mentality sides, like a Liverpool, Man City. They'll lose one game, they're guaranteed to win the next game. And Arsenal have slowly been creeping into the mentality side. We were just talking about it with Seth. They lost to Porto in Champions League. I'll back them in the Premier League.
For sure.
Let's move on to Sunday's game. Wolverhampton Wanderers at home against Sheffield United.
That's gonna be a nasty ass game, but give me Wolves. They're gonna scrape out a 1-0 win.
Hey, you remember before the season when we were doing our Prem predictions, who I told you to look out for in Wolves?
Yeah.
Who?
Wolves.
Nah, the player on Wolves.
Oh, the player? Cunha?
Nah.
No.
Pedro Neto.
Oh, Pedro Neto.
That's my boy. I've been seeing rumors that he might go to Man U. There's been rumors it's either going to be him or Elise. Please take Neto. Please take Pedro Neto. Because he's the only bright spot, or he's one of the few bright spots for Wolves. But give me Wolves. And then last game on Monday, West Ham at the London Stadium against Brentford.
I'm gonna be different. I think that'll be a draw.
Ooh, I could see a draw. One, shout out Ivan Toney. He's scored a goal in like the last like 5 or 6 games on a real streak. But Brentford have had such a hard schedule lately, and do I want to take them? I'll take West Ham. Mohamed Kudus scores the winner late.
Dude, that man's a baller, man. He's a baller. Shout out Ghana.
Ten Hag was at Ajax and still couldn't bring him in.
Oh, Ten Hag, his scouting ability, talent evaluation, it's not really up to par.
It's elite. Hoyland?
Well, that's the exception.
That's the only one.
Shout out Sam Mills, Waiting on a Miracle. That's a banger right there. If you know, you know.
But yeah, his transfer business is questionable.
God awful. Yeah, didn't y'all give Anthony 90 million?
I think it was like 80.
That's
80.
That's nasty.
That's nasty.
That's nasty word.
At least he's finally coming off the bench.
But wait, what's Mason Mount done this entire year?
Been hurt.
Ain't y'all give him 70 million?
Nah, he was 60 at that.
60? Bro, 60. That's for me. Nah.
Yeah,
and I told you from the very start that man would be a horrible signing.
Yeah, but you were hyping up McAllister. He ain't been in. Everybody else in your midfield been in though. All the transfers. Szoboszlai.
Yeah, Szoboszlai. Oh, shout out Endo, my man Endo. Endo's been nice. How old is
Endo? He's like 32.
He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Like 31, 32, around that age. But McAllister, he's had his moments, but it's been an up and down year for him.
That's okay though. We got Kobe Manu. Kobe
Manu. Hey, Steven Bacetich, bro. Remember the name. He's gonna be a baller for us.
Nah, you know who you should be hyping up.
Connor Bradley. Hey, salute to Connor Bradley. Also, rest in peace to his dad who recently passed away as well too. Yeah, but that man's a baller as well.
Trent's gonna be in the midfield when he comes back.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that 6, not
like inverted 6.
Yeah, inverted 6. Yeah, like
6, 8.
Around that position. Yeah. Bradley's probably gonna mainly take over the right back spot, which, hey, I love to see on paper. I love to see it. That'd be beautiful to see.
He's nice.
Beautiful.
He's nice. How old? He's young too. He's like 23 or 22.
I wouldn't say that old. I would not say that old. He's like 20.
Damn.
Yeah, he's super young. 03, baby.
03?
Yeah.
Wow, he's a year before us, and he's in the Prem balling?
Oh, that's unfortunate. Man. There's a bunch of kids balling right now that are our age.
Garmanacho's in 03, I think.
Unfortunately.
Or he might be at 04, actually.
04?
I think Garnacho might be at 04.
Maybe?
Yeah. July 1st,
okay.
2004.
The Man City winger, Oscar
Doku?
Bob Norwegian.
Oh. Manu's in 05.
Yeah. Bob, who I mentioned, he's 03 too. Manu's 05 though. God damn.
Yeah, he's young. That's why we gotta keep Casemiro for one more year minimum. Because Casemiro gives him like the leadership and the veteranish.
That's true. You keep a vet in the locker room.
Yeah,
that's fair.
All right, shall we get into the main segment for today then?
Sure.
All right. What conference you want to start in?
Let's go with the East.
Let's start with the East then. First seed, contender or pretender? Boston Celtics.
Easily contender, most complete team. Well, I wouldn't say most complete team because our bench is the weakest aspect of the whole this entire team still, even with the addition of Xavier Tillman being added to the squad. But with the starting 5, the best starting 5 in the entire league by far. Tatum's been balling at an MVP level, which he should be in the MVP convos, at least top 5. I'm not saying he should be with Shea and Jokic for that spot, but Tatum should at least be in a discussion. Porzingis, when he's been healthy, he unlocks so much for us, both offensively and defensively, being able for us to spread the floor with all 5 guys out there being able to shoot. This is the year. We said it before. This is the year. If everybody's completely healthy, this is the year that we should make a championship run and win it.
Yeah, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do got the most pressure on them. Tatum did say he wants to be the face of the league, and getting chips is how you become the face of the league.
Exactly.
Especially when you do got one of the best, or if not the best, starting five in the league. So easy contender for me. We only have spent too much time on them.
Mm-hmm.
Next team might have some debate about them. Number 2, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Trying to go first?
Yeah. In previous years, I would say pretender. The Cleveland Cavaliers have looked phenomenal in the regular season, largely in part due to Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. But I still have concerns about that front court, especially in the playoffs. Because last year we saw Mitchell Robinson, out of everybody, outplay both of them combined. We saw Darius Garland kind of have some streakiness in the playoffs, and Donovan Mitchell didn't really look himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would normally say pretender. But this is a different Eastern Conference. The Bucks don't look the same. The Sixers are down Joel. The Heat haven't been the Heat this year, but, I mean, you could say that last year for the Heat. And outside of the Celtics, there's no, like, clear favorites or clear pecking order. And so for that reason, I do think that the Cavs are contenders.
I agree with you as well. I have the Cleveland Cavaliers also as contender. Completely healthy, one of the most complete rosters in the entire league. Even then, everybody's back now. Garland's healthy again, which helps them a lot offensively. They recently announced he's going to be off the minutes restriction too from his jaw injury, so that's going to do them a huge favor. Offensively, compared to last year, they really struggled, especially against the Knicks in that playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
The perimeter scoring outside of Mitchell and Garland was very poor. But now with them bringing in more shooting outside the perimeter, like a Max Strus, Sam Murrell, even a Dean Wade too as well, being able to shoot the three ball at a quality clip. Not really George Niang. He's been kind of out of rotation. But the three guys I mentioned before, Strus, Morrell, and Wade, those are going to be three very key guys for them moving forward with their perimeter shooting. Right. But last year, we can't forget about last year because that was really the only time we've seen this main core be in a playoff setting.
Mm-hmm.
And when they played against the Knicks, they had home court, and throughout those 5 games, they got bitched.
Yeah.
We can't ignore that. So that's a huge sign of that you know we can like look out for going to this postseason run. But I just think with Mitchell playing at an MVP caliber level, in my opinion, also with him being more impactful on the defensive side, and also with the perimeter shooting, Garland being healthy once again, and the defensive presence still of the 2 bigs in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And Jared Allen, he was an all-star snub. I thought he had a real shot to be an all-star out the East this year.
He started too late. He started his case too late.
That's true.
That's why.
That's true. He's kind of he is in the OPOY race too, defensive player of the year as well. He's been having a great year defensively.
Oh, for sure. His passing, I think, is very underrated.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point about we saw this team last year, I think one factor that we got to take into account is that they do have this playoff experience now, because like in that series we talked about. When I made my Knicks prediction, I talked about how the Knicks have this playoff experience now. Like Julius Randle had that playoff series against the Hawks. RJ had that playoff series. Quickly had that playoff series. The Cavs, that was Darius Garland's first time in the playoffs. That was Evan Mobley's first time in the playoffs. They had a play-in game, but they never were in the playoffs. That was J.B. Bickerstaff's first time coaching in a playoff series. And so I think that if they can take lessons and they can learn from those mistakes that they did make in that Knicks series, that then this team could be a true contender if those players are learning the right lessons.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I just think with how the East is right now, there's so many question marks outside of that 1 seed Boston Celtics that I do think with their health, with the players that they have, Donovan Mitchell being Donovan Mitchell, where he never misses in the playoffs unless it was last year. I just think that they have to be contenders.
Right, they have to. They absolutely have to.
Number 3, 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Pretender.
I
know they have Giannis, which he's pretty much the only reason why I have a little bit of faith in Milwaukee still making a deep run. This team has so many issues, both on and off the court, man. It's bad. It's really bad. One, there is too much damn drama with this team. Literally every single misstep this team has, even now with Doc Rivers, which that's been magnified like over 1,000 too. Every single misstep, every single loss, it's just too over dramatic. Like with the Grizzlies lost, bro. It's not the end. They lost. I understand it was a bad loss, but that happens with every single team.
Yeah.
The Celtics lost to the Lakers without LeBron and AD at home. It happens. It happens. Those losses happens. It's an 82-game season, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Bro, for the amount of veteran presence on this team and a previously championship winning roster, they should not have this many issues seeping out of this organization.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. Especially because when you do bring in a veteran coach like Doc Rivers, you're hoping that drama and that uproar kind of goes down. All the chaos goes down when you bring in a veteran coach. Cause you assume with chaos that, that's part of having a first-year head coach. When you bring in a vet like Doc Rivers, you're like, maybe it'll settle things down, but it's done the complete opposite.
No, and it's been even worse. JJ Redick, when he was on First Take, he's right. He's absolutely right. Doc Rivers, stop throwing your players under the bus. We saw what he did to Ben Simmons during the bubble run. No, not the bubble run, but in the Hawks series. That was completely uncalled for how he threw Simmons underneath the bus like that.
And Thibault too.
Yeah.
And Thibault
like,
too.
dude, you're the main problem. You're one of the main problems. I'll own up to it.
Record can't be ignored. Record in 3-1s, record 3-2s.
Exactly. You have been in these positions too many times with winning rosters to be throwing your own players underneath the bus so consistently.
Yeah, and not only what's coming out of Doc's mouth. Did you see what Dame said in a recent thing?
No, I haven't.
Dame was like, somebody asked Dame, it was like, give me your current starting five, like best starting five. And he goes like, it's me, Steph, LeBron, KD, and I think he said like Joel and Jokic. Like not even saying Giannis. Like that like at the minimum, you just got to say your teammate just for chemistry.
Fair, but I think Dame's issues rely more on the court because he's clearly taken a step back.
He has
taken a step back, and we already know that he's one of the worst defenders in the entire league by far. He can't guard anybody. I'm sorry, but he can't guard nobody.
No,
that's going to be an issue as well. And they don't even have the wing depth, the wing defending to handle that. Like Jay Crowder,
play Andre Jackson. Andre Jackson deserves some minutes.
Andre Jackson and Beauchamp. Those are the two most athletic guys they have on that roster, except for Giannis, and Doc refuses to play them both.
I know. Andre Jackson's minutes have been like significantly decreased.
They'd rather give Connaughton more minutes, Portis more minutes, Jay Crowder more minutes. Bro, you have two young guns who are capable of playing defense. Who cares that they can't really, like, they don't really have that big of an offensive game? You have Dame and Giannis. That's going to at least soften the blow. At least try to get them more in tune with the roster and the rotation.
Yeah, I agree. The defense has picked up a little bit since Doc has come in. Giannis is kind of back to playing more of that free safety role, which I do like. But the perimeter defense is just such like a big question mark on this team with Malik Beasley and with Damian Lillard. I do like the pickup of Pat Bev, especially with Doc Rivers being the coach. But I mean, how many minutes is Pat Bev gonna get in a playoff game?
Barely anything. And even with Malik Beasley, he was a complete non-factor with that Lakers team last year in the postseason.
Yeah,
he was getting DNPs.
Yeah. Well, that was because he couldn't hit a shot. And if Malik Beasley can't hit a shot, then he should.
Exactly. Okay, so that proves my point. When the shot not hitting, Beasley's always a bad. Exactly, but the playoffs it's a different animal.
It is. And that's the tricky thing about having those guys, is like, whether it's Malik Monk kind of proved this wrong last year, but a Malik Monk to an extent. Malik Beasley, as you said, just these 3-and-D, not even 3-and-D dudes, but just these bucket getters. So Jordan Clarkson for some teams, Colin Sexton for the old Cavs. Like, you can't rely on them if the shot's not falling, and for them to be like, Malik Beasley's probably the third or fourth best player for this team this year. Like, for that to be your third or fourth best player and to know that at any moment he might just have to be cut out of the rotation, it's a scary thought for a team.
Very scary.
At the end of the day, I got to make my decision about contender or pretender. And we'll get into some of these other teams, but Milwaukee's still my third best team in the East. And so I got to say contender just out of respect.
I don't think they're even the third best team right now. I have your Knicks over in Milwaukee.
Well, that's a good segue. Let's talk about my Knicks.
But one more thing.
Yeah.
If they play against more athletic teams and offense with more firepower, like an Indiana Pacers,
who they struggle with all year,
they're gonna get beat first round. This is a first round exit caliber team.
Yeah. This is like they're not the Timberwolves, because the Timberwolves, like, I don't think the Timberwolves are going down without a fight. And I think the Timberwolves could be, like, more scary in the playoffs. But the Bucks are another case of they could be first-round exit or in the championship.
I want to say championship.
Yeah, I actually will change to pretender. The Doc Rivers thing, the chemistry, the defense. What is Chris Middleton? Chris Middleton had surgery 3 years ago and is still, like, out 2 weeks, back for a week. He's on the Bradley Beal cycle.
But the brothers cooked, and which is unfortunate because I've always loved Middleton's game. But he used to bake the shit out of us come playoff time.
Yeah. He used to bake the fuck out of everybody come playoff time.
That's true. That man's been underrated his whole career. Probably because he hasn't really talked a lot during his entire career, too, as well. That's the main factor. But Middleton right now, he's obviously not the same guy. Been slowed down due to injuries. It's not a good look.
Yeah, I agree. Brook Lopez injuries as well. The Milwaukee Bucks are a really interesting team, and I think that I don't know if this is a hot take anymore. Did Giannis sign the extension this offseason before I give this hot take?
He did sign the extension.
Huh?
He did sign it.
I was going to say watch Giannis for a request out.
Nah.
But that's not happening.
That ain't happening.
All right, let's move on to my Knicks. I want to hear what you say about them first.
Contenders.
You think contenders for the Knicks?
Contenders.
I don't think so.
Why not? Elbow, you go first.
I'll go first.
Hey.
I hate to say it's a lost season because you play 82 games. Julius Randle was the best he's ever been this year. Jalen Brunson was the best he's ever been this year. You make these big-time moves, but the injuries have derailed the next season. The injuries this year are going to derail the next season. Right now, we're going to go against the 76ers of the season today. I take the Knicks in that matchup. If the Knicks get a worse matchup than that, I would not be surprised if the Knicks are first-round exits. You look at the injuries, right? Julius Randle, there was a report yesterday that he hasn't ruled out season-ending injury or season-ending surgery. OG Anunoby still hasn't come back to practice since his surgery. Mitchell Robinson, he got surgery basically the first week of the season. They said that he should be back on the court in 10 weeks, and he's not even doing contact drills in practice yet. Hartenstein's been out. Dante DiVincenzo's out right now. Basically, outside of Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, nobody's been healthy. And you look at the new pieces, whether it's a Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks, they just haven't been playing the winning basketball needed. And it's kind of too late for them to build that chemistry, I think, because we're 55 games into the year right now. That's like a little bit less than 27 games left to build that chemistry, assuming full health, which Tom Thibodeau and the NBA full health is not a guarantee at all. I just think that it's just too many injuries to overcome. And I really do think that with the East, with all the question marks I was saying, with the Cavaliers, the Bucks, the Sixers without Joel, we don't know what the Heat will be. Like, this could have been the next year. And I think it was lost by injuries.
Speaking on Tibbs, you mentioned him. How much blame do you put on Thibodeau for the injuries? Because we've known any NBA fan that has seriously watched this league over the years. A Tom Thibodeau-led team, come this stretch of the season, especially in the playoffs, they slow down, and players, they get banged up and get injured.
Outside of the Julius Randle injury, I don't put a lot of blame on him.
Okay.
The Julius Randle injury, that one happened like 4 or 3 minutes left in the game against the Heat where we were up like 15. Like, that one, I'll put some blame on him. Why is Julius Randle still in the game?
Wait, could you not put blame on Randle again for like last year for his injury against Miami? Because he was in not against Miami, against Cleveland.
Well, was that Randall's fault? Or are you saying put the blame on Randall?
No, I was talking about Tibbs.
Yeah. Oh, Tibbs that game against the Cavs was crazy because that wasn't even us winning the game. That was us, like, we were down like 16 when Julius Randle got hurt. Thankfully, he didn't miss any time. But that was with Julius Randle on a bum ankle and he got hurt. And then this year, we were up 15. I understand it was a primetime game, but still, I don't love it. But outside of the Julius Randle injury, I don't think you could put much blame on him. Like Mitchell Robinson, that was first week of the season. OG Anunoby, I think the injury occurred when he was still on the Raptors, and then he just kind of waited to get the surgery. He was trying to elect what to do, and then it was just too much pain. Dante DiVincenzo, I think that Dante DiVincenzo and Hartenstein, you could say, might be his fault, but it's like, who else is he supposed to play when we do have all these injuries? Like, he might deserve some blame, but it's also like the Knicks were the 2 seed. The Knicks had the number 1 defense. They won 9 straight games. They were the best team in January. Like, you could put the blame on him for the injuries, but if you have a coach who's producing results at the end of the day, what are you supposed to do?
Fair.
But tell me why you have the Knicks as a contender.
Well, when they're completely healthy.
Contender.
Easily.
I agree.
Easy, which I do believe that the majority of the names you just mentioned, I think they're going to be healthy come playoff time. Not as 100% as you want them to be, but still effective enough to contribute in a playoff series.
And see, that's why I can't take him. We've seen Julius Randle come off these injuries towards the playoffs. I was hyping Julius Randle up, saying we might get a different Julius in the playoffs because he's been aggressive. In order for Julius to be aggressive, he needs that stamina. He needs the fitness and the energy built up. And when you're coming off an injury where you're not doing any cardio and you're not working out, which I don't necessarily know to be true, but you're not doing it at game speed for sure. I just don't like that. I think that we could get like a Cleveland Cavaliers thing where it just doesn't look good. He might have one good game, but outside of that, it doesn't look great. OG is still not practicing, which is worrisome. I think he'll be back much sooner than Randall. But, I mean, Randall still might be out for the whole year. Like, what happens if Randall gets that season-ending injury that he hasn't ruled out?
Then it's cooked.
Dante DiVincenzo, please come back, because right now it's literally just the Brunson show, which that man can only do so much by himself.
That's true.
And you saw that the last 4 games that we've lost.
Yeah. Bad basketball, by the way, from like a product standpoint. No offense to you, but
nah. I was expecting us to lose every game except that Rockets game.
Okay, that was bullshit too.
But I mean, like the first quarter against the Magic, Brunson like basically outscored the Magic, and then once we took Brunson out, the Magic went on a run and we never saw the game again. But I just think even if we get the players back, I just think it's gonna be too little, too late. Like when the Knicks were rolling in January, like you could see the team chemistry, you could see everybody fit well together. I still think that even when you bring those new guys, or even when you bring in OG and a Randall back, you're still gonna have to incorporate them with a Boyan, with an Alec Burks, with the pieces that you brought in at the trade deadline. So you're still gonna have to work out that chemistry later in the season, and you never want to do that heading into the playoffs. Like, there's a real chance the Knicks might have a lineup in the playoffs that's getting minutes for the first time together, and I don't want to be a part of that. So I could see the Knicks being. I don't think the Knicks can make the conference finals this year. I think second round is max for the Knicks, which sucks. Because I was super high on this team not that long ago.
Yeah, and the East is still wide open outside of Boston for any of y'all, like New York or Cleveland, even Milwaukee, maybe even Indiana and long shot, but Miami as well, which we'll get into those teams later on.
But you want to move on to the 5th seed?
Sure.
5th seed, Philadelphia 76ers.
Pretender, no Embiid, no party.
Yep, I'll agree. I don't think we need to spend too much time on that one.
Yeah, Buddy Hield's been great. Maxey has shown flashes, but that's not enough.
Without Embiid, they're just not the same team.
Yeah, hey, Nick Nurse, he's gonna make any series a fight off his coaching alone, but it's not it. They need 21 back.
By the way, we didn't mention it. when we were talking about this team. But the Milwaukee Bucks, they had a chance to get Nick Nurse. Giannis didn't want him. Giannis instead wanted his assistant,
Adrian Griffin, which first-year head coach with the title contending roster. Majority of the time, that's not That's not a good sign of success.
Unless
Lots of growing pains.
unless it is Nick Nurse.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, the Bucks might be in a different spot with Nick Nurse as their head coach.
Yeah, Nick Nurse has always been an elite head coach, in my opinion. Even
Yeah.
when the Raptors were on their downslide post title run,
Yeah,
always been an elite head coach.
Speaking of Raptors and downside, they've been awful since the trade deadline.
Yeah, they're on my don't watch teams. I've loved Scotty in his development this year, but they're not a good product to watch.
They're not. I've been watching them just because they got the Knicks guys and
Quickly,
Scotty.
you know.
But like, if they didn't have Knicks guys, I wouldn't be watching. If I was a Knicks fan,
Not
I
at
wouldn't be
all,
watching.
man. That Raptors team is putrid.
6 seed Indiana Pacers.
Pretender.
Yeah, I'll agree. Pretender. They could be a dark horse, but if they are a dark horse, it's at the very low end.
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be a year away from winning a playoff series.
Yeah, which coming into the year, we knew that Indiana had the potential to be a non-playing team, actually make the playoffs with Halliburton being completely healthy, which, by the way, when he was, before we got that serious injury down the stretch, they were in that playoff hunt.
They were. I think they were. What were they? The 5 or 4 seed?
I think they were 5.
Yeah. Who's their starting shooting guard now?
Shooting guard now,
Since
outside
Buddy's
Buddy
been
Hield.
gone.
I believe Neesmith.
Neesmith, because he was coming off the bench when it was still. No, Neesmith was starting at the 3.
No,
Neesmith's been starting at the 3 all year.
not Neesmith.
I thought you said Mathurin.
No,
Because Mathurin's been coming off the bench all year.
yeah, Matherin's
Until-
their 6th man.
He's starting now?
Andrew Nemhard.
Oh, you know who I actually like on this team? I don't know if he's a rookie. Let me look. Ben Shepherd. I'm actually. I mean, it makes sense that Matt's a Ben Shepherd fan, but like, he's kind of what they need in a backup guard to take over the TJ McConnell era.
Well, just like bring a guy with more size.
More size, good defender next to Halliburton, and
Jumper needs work,
needs some work for sure.
They do need work.
The Miami Heat.
Damn, dang, I want to talk about the Pacers a little bit more.
Go for it.
Yeah, even post Siakam trade, which we would have expected defensively, they're still mediocre. They're a mediocre unit. Although they do have the size to compete with other top teams like a Milwaukee, even. I want to say, like a Boston as well too. Got a lot of bodies to throw at bigs, but at the same time, we need to see this team in a half court setting, which we haven't really seen all year. I mean, I get they're a high-powered unit led by Halliburton, but once the game slows down and teams are zoning in on Halliburton, I understand they do have Siakam, but he's not the greatest player in the half court offensively. I'm interested to see how that dynamic goes.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, we're gonna see it because they're gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
also.
for sure.
Let me check real quickly how many games ahead they are of that play-in spot. Oh, they're only a half game ahead of the play-in spot. They're not all but guaranteed, but they look like, barring any injury, they will be a 7 or 8 seed, so they'll have 2 chances in the play-in. But regardless, I think that the Pacers are a year away from winning a series. The defense and the pace kind of scare me because part of their offense being as great as it has been and Halliburton being this great system is the pace. And as we know, pace slows down substantially in the playoffs. To me, the Pacers are looking for that one more piece. And I think that they understand it. I don't think they're trying to win like anything big this year. I think the Pascal trade was them identifying that a second option next to Tyrese was available, and they wanted to be aggressive and get it. They're obviously going to do whatever they can to retain him this free agency. But who would you like to see as their third piece? Or do you think Pascal's the third piece and they're looking for a second piece?
Realistically, I could see him being the second long term alongside Halliburton. But third piece, ooh.
What position? Let's start with what position do you want the third piece to be?
Position?
Center, small forward, or shooting guard?
Most likely shooting guard.
Okay.
Most likely, kind of in the Buddy Hield realm where he having a 2 guy that can score on his own, can be able to handle the ball consistently. Buddy Hield really doesn't do that, but just out with that element, being a good playmaker, taking the load off of Halliburton with the ball handling duties and also with scoring as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna say some names and you let me know.
Okay.
Mikal Bridges.
Actually, yeah.
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 I think he'd fit nicely on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd fit nicely on the team.
Yeah, probably would be a number 3, which is fine. Have him go back to being
3-and-D.
3-and-D, having more energy towards the defensive side of the ball.
Would you want DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine?
I don't think DeMar would be a great fit for any team at this point. Like any title contending team. No offense to him, but his game does not fit well. But Zach LaVine, most likely, I sorry, even though that really wouldn't be a great fit defensively for both, putting Halliburton and LaVine in that backcourt.
I would not take either.
Either. Like if I were able to, if you put a gun to my head and made me choose,
you'd rather have LaVine?
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah. That mid-range between Pascal and DeMar, that'd be way too clunky.
No, it's super clunky. Yeah.
DeJounte Murray.
No.
Too ball dominant?
Murray strictly has to be a 1.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Yeah. Kyle Kuzma? Or is he a 4?
Yeah, 4.
4 option.
4, yeah. I wouldn't really like putting either Kuzma or Siakam in that 3 spot.
Lauri Markkanen. Assuming he's available, which you got to pay the Danny Ainge ransom, but
you could put Markkanen at the 3.
Yeah.
Even though you lose some lateral quickness.
Or you could put, I don't know if you want to do this, but you could put Pascal at the 5 because he played some 5 in Toronto.
Nah.
That's fair because he's only 6'8".
Yeah, he's 6'8",
Lauri's taller
not that
than
great of a
Pascal.
defender to begin with inside.
Would you run the triple big lineup? Lowry, Pascal, Miles Turner, if you keep Miles Turner in the trade? I don't hate it.
I don't like that really.
I don't hate it.
Would you do? There's not enough defensive upside.
Fair. Jeremy Grant or Anthony Simons?
Realistically, Anthony Simons. I just don't like Jeremy Grant. Really, it's the same with the DeRozan.
The contract's awful.
The contract's awful. I just don't think the play style would gel at all with, especially him and Siakam. I just don't think that would gel at all.
Yeah. Let's look. Do the Lakers have? D'Lo.
No, not D'Lo.
Reeves.
No, not even Reeves either.
So Pacific Division's basically a wash. Dylan Brooks.
Actually, yeah.
Dylan Brooks would be a good fit for this team.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
Jalen Green.
Next player.
Memphis isn't giving up Bane. I think Bane would be the perfect fit for them. But Memphis isn't giving him up. What about Herb Jones or Trey Murphy?
Not Herb Jones. You wouldn't fit. Trey Murphy, I like that. Trey Murphy
better. He's been getting more minutes lately. But if they still got him coming off the bench, then he got a request out. And then Spurs don't really got anybody unless you want Devin Vassell or Keldon Johnson.
I don't want Keldon Johnson.
Me neither. That Mikal Bridges fit I do like. If they could get Mikal, this team is gonna be nice.
Yeah.
But they got some good building blocks and they should be happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great season for them regardless if they don't win a playoff series or not. Great year to build off.
Yeah. They got one of the harder divisions in the league too.
Between them, Cleveland, the Bucks and the Indiana. Cavs. Also with the Bulls, they've been they haven't been really great, but they've kept their head underwater.
Yeah.
Above water.
Unfortunately, the Pistons way down the division by a lot.
They've been playing better ball post trade deadline.
They have been.
Yeah.
Shout out to Simone Fontecchio. He's been hooping for them.
Didn't you pick him up in your fantasy league?
I did not. I marked that I'm interested in him. I didn't pick him up though.
Okay.
I picked up shout out Keontae George. That's a steal of a pickup.
I want Utah to give him some more chances, man.
Oh, for sure. Post deadline they will be.
You said post deadline.
Post trade deadline. Because they moved some pieces.
Oh yeah, true. Their guard depth's still like really really big.
Who they got there? They got Clarkson, Chris Dunn.
Yeah,
Sexton.
So that's 3. THT's still there. He plays guard. He's capable of
Fucking
playing guard.
cut the THT minutes. Give him all the Keontae.
THT's so. I'm sorry.
But I mean, they're out of the playoffs. They're not going to be in the play. I think
No.
they've already conceded that.
Yeah.
And so just give the minutes to the young fella. Play Taylor Hendricks. Who's the other rookie that they got in the draft? They got Hendricks, Keontae George, and one other guy. Right?
Bryce Sensabaugh.
Which I don't know a lot about him, but give him some burn. Why not?
Yeah, you're basically not gonna. Yeah. You're not even gonna make the play-in anyway,
No,
bro.
not.
I think the gap's gonna be too big for them to overcome.
They're already 2.5 games out.
Yeah.
So.
And the Lakers and Warriors are both hot right now, it's unlikely.
Which they play tonight. LeBron is out though.
Yeah.
Next team, the Miami Heat.
Pretenders, but with a Gucci belt.
With a Gucci belt, what do you mean?
The Gucci belt. Well, we know. Damn, that was a horrible analogy, but let me continue.
I was about to say I didn't understand it at all.
That didn't make no sense. My fault, y'all. My fault. But for Miami, the Hero and Rozier minutes, them being put together in the lineup, horrible.
Mm-hmm.
As well as their half-court offense, post Rozier trade, atrocious at times. Lots of shot chucking, not enough efficient offense. The Heat, they don't look like a real top contender right now, but we've seen them in past years, especially last year with the finals run as the 8th seed. You have to give him at least the respect, especially having Spo still as the best coach in the entire league by far, and that counts too in the playoffs as well, because Spo, they have the coaching advantage for the majority of the teams in the league, minus Philly when they if they play Philly with him going up against Nick Nurse. But
give me Spo. Come on.
I mean, but Nick Nurse can get some licks in though.
He can.
The gap's not that far compared to other teams.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Any other team, this is a pretender, but since it's Miami, it's an unconfident pretender.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned, they have Spo, and they also have a dude named Jimmy Butler, who might be the most bipolar player when it comes to regular season versus playoff basketball.
Nah, he's not bipolar. He just doesn't give a shit.
But
it's been the same thing since really the first season he's been in Miami.
That's why it's so hard to evaluate them as a regular season team, or going into the playoffs, because you're yet to see them when Jimmy's Jimmy, and Jimmy does not give a fuck. Playoff Jimmy might be a top 5 player in the world, but regular season Jimmy might be one of the worst players to watch because he just doesn't care on the basketball court.
Damn, I wouldn't say top 5, like top 10.
Nah, not the way he was playing last year.
I would not say top 5, top 10 for sure, but not top 5.
He was looking insane.
I disrespect to Jimmy, but yeah, which to an extent I do understand Butler, his mentality, because the Heat, with their intensity and them being a physical team, they're always going to have an elite defense, even especially if Bam's healthy throughout the season. They're still going to be within the playoff teams, but again, you're kind of running that risk of one, not having as good of seating, as well as not having home court advantage, which that's really impactful come playoff time.
Plus, you still got to win the play-in game. That's not a free gimme. I mean, last year they lost. No, they didn't lose.
They lost against Atlanta at home,
and then they were down late in the game against the Bulls before they turned it on.
Yeah.
So it's an unconfident pretender. I think there's a serious chance that Terry Rozier doesn't even get minutes in the playoffs because he's been out with this injury. I could see a world where we did see how bad it was when Terry Rozier was starting in that lineup. And so he had a pretty bad injury. I think he's only supposed to come back a couple weeks before the end of the season. And so if that chemistry doesn't get going, if the offense doesn't look better, playoff ball is playoff ball. You got to win. So I could see a world where even though the Heat do have this limited depth, I could see them maybe cutting his minutes, maybe having him come off the bench and starting Josh Richardson.
I'd rather have Hero come off the bench.
You'd rather have Hero come off the bench?
Yeah.
I mean, he is that 6th man, but I mean, we also haven't seen Hero in the playoffs either. He missed that entire run last year.
Actually, we have.
We have. I mean, he did it against the Celtics.
But at the same time, he's had injury issues and not being able to stay healthy throughout the entire postseason run. So you can factor that in as well.
Because was it the year I think it was the year the Celtics made the finals. He basically missed that entire conference final series.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he missed the entire playoff run last year.
But they did that man so dirty. They still had him on the court when he broke his hand.
Yeah, and
had him shooting the ball too.
Swear in the
it was in the corner, bro, and he bricked it. Well, you said Game 5. No, it was Game 1 against Milwaukee.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But
he hit it too?
No, he didn't hit it, bro. He bricked that shit. I think.
No, I thought he hit a shot though with the broken hand.
Maybe. I remember him breaking it.
I remember him like seeing him grab it right after he shot it. Yeah, which
you clearly knew. Like when he dove for the ball and like was grimacing. Yeah. He broke his hand or at least.
No, I do remember that now that you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, unconfident pretender for me.
Yeah.
All right.
I would not be surprised if they made another deep run with how questionable the East is right now, man.
Right now, who are you taking in a playoff series between the Cavs and the Heat?
I would take Cleveland, but I'd be really uncomfortable about it. I think it's going to at least 6 games. On paper, the Cavs should win it comfortably.
Bam's a good matchup for the bigs, though.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about that. But he's not as like lengthy as Mitchell Robinson was.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he's obviously much better than Mitchell Robinson. Let's not fool ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, last team, the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, one of the biggest. We're just happy we're here teams. Obvious pretender, but at the same time, great year for Orlando to have a culture being put in place finally with Jamal Mosley as the head coach. The core has been established with Banchero, Wagner, and Jalen Suggs has had a great year. One of the most improved players in the entire league by far, taking on that role of being the Marcus Smart of this Magic team as well. So that's been a great development. Hey, outside of Banchero and Wagner, offensively, who can you count on to create a shot for themselves? Yeah.
Cole Anthony. That's probably, if you're talking offense.
That ain't it, man. If you're
talking to get you a bucket, it's Cole Anthony on that team. He's probably their third option.
That ain't it. Offensively, their guards are very limited. I just think in a playoff series, they have the size to give some teams fits, but offensively, who are you gonna count on outside of the two guys I mentioned to truly step up when needed to?
Probably Suggs. It probably has to be Suggs. Fultz has been atrocious since he's come back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
He hasn't looked good at all. Which hopefully post All-Star break we kind of see more of the Markelle Fultz we're used to.
Going forward. Not Suggs. Fultz being as bad as he's been this year. It's also hindered Anthony Black's development, which he was great in the minutes he had to start the year off as well.
I also really like what Jamal Mosley did with Anthony Black, starting him with the starting unit to give him some help around him. It worked out really well, and I'm surprised, like, we always talk about it being a copycat league. I'm surprised we haven't really seen other coaches do it. We talked about Utah and how they're not giving any minutes to Keontae George and instead starting Colin Sexton. Why not start a Keontae George next to Chris Dunn so you have the defense next to him, and we obviously know what Keontae George can bring on the other side of the ball.
Oof. Yeah.
But Orlando, for me, 1 year away from being 1 year away. Or actually, maybe they're 1 year away from being the contender. But this team's bound to be a contender soon. It's just too early. It's just too early. I do hope that they get in. I just want them to get that playoff experience. I think it'd be funny to see them against the Celtics in the first round just because notoriously they've played the Celtics well in the regular season. I'd obviously take the Celtics in the matchup, but I think they could give you a decent run.
Yeah, like just the length alone of that Magic team, especially with the guards, and you match that up against our guards and Drew Holiday and Derek White, while both Holiday and White have been very solid this year. Offensively, they're still very limited, especially when it comes to creating their own shot.
Yeah. I will say, we talked about Fultz and how he hasn't been the same since the injury. I think Magic fans can be happy that Wendell Carter has been the same since his injury, because the first couple games, the first week or two, it was like, could we get Goga Badazzi back in the starting lineup? Like, Goga was playing better than Wendell, but Wendell's been looking like himself again, and he's been an anchor on the defense.
Hey, shout out Wagner and Goga for holding it down when he was out.
Hey, Mo Wagner was decent this year. Mo Wagner has had a good year.
Yeah, I wish he played like that when he was on Boston, but that's life.
Boston?
Yeah, he was in Boston during the non-fans in the stands year. I hate that. I hate that team so much. I can't stand that Celtics team.
I remember they had the banners in the back instead of the bleachers.
That team is so trash. Hated that year.
That wasn't a good year for a lot of teams.
Team was garbage, bro. We was giving Jeff Teague no disrespect to Jeff Teague. I love his podcast, but Jeff Teague was getting important minutes. Tristan Thompson was getting important minutes. It was just a horrible experience. Jabari Parker was on our team getting series burn. It was just bad in general. It was such a weird year.
That.
It's a horrible year.
All right, you want to move to the West?
Yeah, let's move to the West indeed.
The West might have too many contenders, low key.
Too many contenders.
Well, that's the thing about contenders. There can only be so many.
Well, how many contenders do you have in the West?
Well, we'll get into that. We'll start with the 1 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I'm gonna say pretender.
You're gonna say pretender.
Yeah.
Is it because of the offense?
The offense is very important. Late game situations, that's been the Achilles here this entire year. Them trying to execute.
They've been better late game.
I understand that, but still, you add that with Cat and his playoff experience, his struggles, which on this team throughout the entire roster, he's really their only serious shot creator outside of Anthony Edwards. So I do not trust Cat to pull through in a playoff series when there's an obvious history of him being thrown off his game, him getting into foul trouble too many times as well throughout the postseason runs he's been on.
It's tough for me because they're by far the best team in the conference. Like, when you look at their record in conference play, they're 27-8. Mm-hmm. The next best team is a two-way tie between the Thunder and the Clippers, and they're 22-13. So this team really has ran the regular season. Mm-hmm. But if you remember, last year heading into the season, so the first year we were going to see Rudy Gobert, do you remember what everybody was predicting?
For Minnesota?
Mm-hmm. 1 seed, great defensively, but we're really concerned about this team come playoff time. Mm-hmm. I think that's a very valid reason to be worried. I think I want to say contender, but I think I got to go pretender, and I think they'll get eliminated second or third round.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Gobert's going to be the reason why.
I don't either.
Just with And I've been telling you that Gobert and Utah's playoff struggles, that was not mainly on Gobert.
Oh, no. Utah, you can blame a lot of it on Rudy.
How was it on Rudy?
He gave up 40 points to a dude who ain't scored 30 in his career.
He was roaming around the paint. That wasn't, bro. Did you see that game?
Yes.
Look back at the tape.
So, okay. So you're going to tell me that this dude who's this all-defensive player who's going to be a Hall of Famer shouldn't be on the court if the other team has select personnel?
Bro, name
one Okay, so who should he have been in that game then? Who should he have been defending?
I think they played Nicholas Batum at the 5, right?
No. They have Mook.
Oh, Mook.
I think, right? No, it was Kawhi PG, obviously. Terrence Mann.
Because they ran a lot of small ball.
They did run a lot of small ball. And they specifically to go against Gobert. But as Gobert, if you're 7 foot, how can you not punish a Nick Batum or a Marcus Morris? Because you should be able to do that. You should be able to post up. And then 2, if you are this all defender, who should we put you on? Or what? Are we going to say we're going to pay this dude $40 million to basically do everything in the regular season and then we just have to bench him in the playoffs?
Bro, I hate when y'all bring these discussions up, you and Daddy both, and y'all never bring up the fact that Utah team outside of Royce O'Neal, pretty much their whole perimeter like core, they were liabilities.
Mike Conley's still a good defender.
Okay, Mike Conley, right. And
Who was the 4? Because Royce O'Neal was the 3.
Bojan?
Oh, Boyan. Yeah,
Boyan, and he's liability defensively.
Yeah.
Mitchell at that time was a liability defensively. Clarkson, we know he's a liability defensively. They ain't have the personnel outside of Gobert.
I mean, Mitchell, the first year he left, his team was number 1 in defense.
Okay, so was that mainly on Donovan Mitchell?
No, but I mean, so what? So is that all on? But I'm saying, the Cleveland Cavaliers still had the number 1 defense, and they had Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, but they also had 2 all defensive bigs within that starting lineup.
But I'm saying those bigs,
they had to cover a lot with Mitchell's mistakes. Boom! I cooked him. I cooked him.
I was just about to say. I
got him.
I was about to say that front court for Cleveland could at least play in the playoffs. But
I cooked him.
Nah. But tell me how Rudy can play in the playoffs then if you go small ball. If you're 7 foot, what's Rudy? 7'5", 7'3"?
What?
I think he's 7'3".
Wait, you say
he's not 7'5".
No, he's 7 foot. 7
Rudy?
foot. 7, no,
I think he's 7'3".
No, he's not.
He's 7'1". He's 7'1".
7 foot 7'1".
He's 7'1". But if you're 7'1", let's look at Marcus Morris' height. I think Marcus Morris is 6'8".
Yeah, around that.
Marcus Morris is 6'8". You're telling me that you got, what is that? 5 inches of height on a dude plus all the muscle in the world, and you're not putting his ass in the basket?
No, okay, I agree with you on that. Offensively, yeah, a lot of blame could be put on him, put towards him for that, even though they weren't passing that man the ball to begin with, other than Mike Conley. Mm-hmm. And that's been well documented during that whole Utah run.
Sure. And then on the flip side, like, how many playoff series did we see where he wasn't the same defender that he was in the regular season?
Okay, but why though?
Because he can't play against small ball.
No, because most of Utah's perimeter players were liabilities defensively on the perimeter, and they didn't know how to rotate. They completely left their man open to drive to the open paint, which led to easy 3-point shots.
Okay, but how come we never have seen the same thing with Jokic in the playoffs?
Because he had better defensive personnel.
They got is Jamal a good defender?
No, he's not good, but he's respectable. He's a very respectable defender.
I take Mike Conley over Jamal. I take
the gap's not that big.
Over Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
I take Royce O'Neal over MPJ. Royce O'Neal.
Royce O'Neal.
Royce O'Neal was a good defender.
MPJ, during the chip run, was a very capable defender.
He was.
And he has the size over Royce O'Neal. I take MPJ.
And then AG over Boyan.
Boom!
But even in prior years, when MPJ was out, when it was a Monte Morris backcourt, Monte Morris, who else was the shooting guard? It was before KCP. Will Barton. Jokic wasn't getting cooked when the backcourt was Monte Morris and Will Barton. It was just he had nobody else to help him.
You can say the same thing about Gobert.
How?
Yes.
How? I'm saying Jokic had nobody to help him on offense. Nobody could hit a shot on offense. Jokic, it wasn't them getting blown out in games.
Bro, I don't care about the offensive game. We're talking about strictly defense.
Strictly defense, I'm paying you $40 million a year. You better be able to put your you better be able to do
That's not what they paid him for. They ain't paying $40 million to put the ball in the basket. They paid him $40 million to defend the hoop.
But he ain't defending the hoop. He's giving up 40 points in a game 7. Losing it. What defense is that?
Every year Utah was consistently a top 5 defensive unit, strictly because of Gobert.
Season.
Yeah, exactly.
Because teams aren't going with lineups, doing special personnel, going small ball in the regular season. Teams are matching up and doing the lineup changes and changing up players' minutes and doing all of this rotation change in the playoffs to get these advantages. And when you have Rudy Gobert, who is such a big liability, you can't take advantage of it and you can't exploit it.
Okay,
but that's why you don't have a top 5 defense in the playoffs.
Why you don't have a top 5 defense in the playoffs? Because the opposing team, they know that outside of Rudy Gobert and Royce O'Neal, the other Utah players defensively, most of them are liabilities. They're cones. And we can exploit that.
I would call them cones.
Okay, cones is a strong word, but this has been a heated debate.
This has.
But
there's been too many Rudy Gobert heated debates.
It's been a heated debate. I'll ride for Rudy Gobert all day, bro.
Hey, he's nice in the regular season. I don't got anything to say about him.
I'm one of Rudy Gobert's main shooters out here, bro. Rudy Gobert, I got you, brother. I got you, Rudy.
Hey, Rudy Gobert is one of the best defenders of all time, but Dikembe Mutombo wasn't winning chips either.
Another bro. Hey, no, don't disrespect Dikembe like that. Dikembe is still an all-time great defensive big.
He is.
Such as Rudy Gobert too as well. But hey, another D-Boy on the way. We lit Rudy Gobert, future Hall of Famer. You heard it from here first. He in the Hall of Fame. Not gold jacket, but Springfield, Bakersfield, wherever the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame's at, Rudy Gobert is gonna be in it one day. And I know y'all gonna be mad, but deal with it. Rudy Gobert is a Hall of Fame caliber big. Come on now.
All right, next team.
Fuck. What are you talking about?
Next team.
I was blanking out. Oh yeah, we'll move to the Thunder.
We both have them as pretenders. OKC.
Yeah, pretender. Yeah, number 1, Josh Giddey. He's a liability. He can't play in the playoffs. Complete liability, both sides of the ball. Give Casey Wallace more burn. Give him his minutes moving forward.
Can I change mine?
Do it, yeah.
Timberwolves contender, Thunder pretender.
Okay.
Thunder, if they got a backup big, would have been contender for me. Or if they got any like front court depth.
Yeah, and that's another big, huge weakness with this Thunder team. Outside of Chet, they really have no big.
Yeah. And I'm scared, like, what if Chet gets outplayed in a series against the Timberwolves where they got double bigs and you don't got anybody to go to? Or against the Nuggets where Jokic can use his size, as we've seen earlier this year. It just kind of scares me, and I don't know whether – I think Chet's going to be a 5 in this league for sure.
For sure, absolutely.
But they really haven't tried Chet at the 4. They haven't really given it a trial run.
Who could you put – Chet?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Could you put somebody at the 5?
You know who I actually really wanted them to trade for? Well, if you can ignore the contract, which you can't obviously ignore the contract, I thought Jakob Poeltl would have been a perfect backup big. Just to give them serviceable backup minutes.
Jakob Poeltl, not Jakob Poeltl from years past, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but this team isn't the same as the Raptors. They actually can space the floor.
Fair
and Shea
enough.
can run a pick and roll, unlike Quickly.
That's true. How do you okay, side tangent, but how do you feel about Quickly in Toronto so far?
Good question.
To me, he hasn't really taken the leap as I would.
He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been like when I thought we lost something big and Quickly.
Yeah, like scoring off the bench and being a ball handler.
No, but I thought like Quickly was gonna come to Toronto, and like he still could be. I mean, he's still really young, and he's had like 20 games, probably not even with the Raptors, but he looked fucking amazing in the first 5 games, and he hasn't really looked as good since. Side note, Grady Dick. Shout out Grady Dick. He has been hooping as of late.
I like Dick from Kansas.
Chill. You ain't gonna say it like that.
I love Dick from Kansas.
Clip it. Clip it. But as far as like one, what's his name? Darko Rajovic, I think is the coach.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name. So
I think he's probably going after this year.
Yeah.
I think I'm interested to see what Quickly will do with the new coach. But Darko shouldn't get blamed for how quickly he's playing. I just think Darko drawing up game winners for RJ when you're down 2 and you have or down 1 and you have Scotty is kind of interesting. But like Quickly's gonna be an elite 6-man for if he wants to be a 6-man, and he'll be a lower end point guard if he's gonna start. That's what I think.
Man,
that's what I think.
Yeah, it's probably the most accurate ceiling for Quickly moving forward.
He's like, I'm looking at teams here. Like, if he could turn into like a mini Fred VanVleet, that'd be good. But he just doesn't have the playmaking of Fred VanVleet.
Fair, and he don't really have.
But
he don't really got the defense. That
but also
Fred
like
VanVleet
quickly, he's been in the league. I think this is his fourth year. His entire role has been to come off the bench and get buckets. Mm-hmm. This is the first time he's really asked to be a playmaker. And so I think maybe if the Raptors as a rebuilding team want to give him a year and see how he could develop as a point guard, I think that'd be fair.
Right.
But as of right now, I think it's a lower end point guard.
Right. Okay. Let's go back to the Thunder. Josh Giddey's on the team. Bad juju from himself.
Everybody else on this team is legit. Starting lineup wise.
I want to say Lou Dort offensively. Great defensive guy, but you can sack off Lou Dort.
3-and-D.
You can still sack off Lou Dort and focus and put your main focus on Shea. Gordon Hayward moving forward for this team short term is going to be a big piece for them. as another shot creator and a ball handler to take the pressure off of Shea to consistently create his own shot and play make for this team moving forward. The lack of size really hurts this team as well. Other than Shea, who's their best big in that depth,
I guess.
And he's not. He's really not
By the
an
way,
NBA caliber
Lou
big
Dort,
anyway.
39% from 3 this year.
I'm still sacking off of him.
Hey, if I'm the Thunder and Lou Dort shooting 39%,
We'll let him shoot. They gonna let him shoot.
They were doing that. The Raptors almost beat them just letting Lou Dort shoot, and then Lou Dort and Josh Giddey decided to turn up.
We are letting Lou Dort and especially Giddey shoot.
Yeah, everybody's letting Giddey shoot this year.
That boy, trash. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for the playoff series, like when OKC's on the road, and Josh Giddey goes to the line for the first time.
That Giddey triple-double against New Orleans tricked me. Josh Giddey, you broke my heart in many ways, man. I'll never forgive you for that.
Damn, you sound like Drake.
You're one of my favorite players, Josh Giddey. You broke my heart, brother. I thought we was going to be great after that New Orleans game in the play-in, bro. That triple-double, that was greatness. I thought, that was great. He's going to be a great guard in this league for a long time. But no, you stink. And you like little girls, allegedly. Come on, Josh. Allegedly.
All right.
Legal issues. I can't say that.
All right.
You did it on purpose. I'll say allegedly. You broke my heart, Josh Giddey. I'll never forgive you for that, man. Never forgive you.
The Thunder are so interesting though, because if they're a first round, I don't think they'll be a first round exit.
No.
But like, if they disappoint in the playoffs, like, they got so many things that they could do with all the picks and like the young assets they already have.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of using all of the draft picks. I think you'll have to trade them eventually.
No, but that, I mean, it's a thing that Sam Presti and the rest of this front office needs to evaluate moving forward. When is the right time to utilize these picks to get another superstar player in?
It's, you know when the right time is?
When?
I guarantee you it's going to be once this investigation with Josh Giddey wraps up.
Has it already wrapped up? I'm pretty sure it has.
I don't know if it has.
Hey, because I was mock drafting, not mock drafting. Now, man, I'm stupid.
Mock trading.
Mock trading. Excuse me, for Giddey to go to Utah in a deal with Markkanen. That'd be a great move.
I mean, they have the picks to trade.
Side.
They have the picks to trade, but
that'd
Damian Hayes is coming away with at least 5.
Like Utah PR would be at an all-time low if they got Giddey, but
yeah.
But I thought that would be a great move. Thunder, you get another shot creator and a great 3-point shooter in Markkanen, being a guy that can score on multiple levels of the court. And with Utah, you get a point guard in Giddey who has a ceiling to where he can be one of the best guards, that we saw from last year previously, not this year, but last year he showed a lot of good flashes.
Trade the picks for LeBron.
Have him be in a new setting and make him be the primary playmaker for that Jazz team moving forward.
Trade the picks for LeBron.
That's not happening.
Trade the picks for LeBron.
I thought that would be nice, though.
I'd like that more than a Markkanen move. The Markkanen move, like, it's just mainstream. It's mainstream for a reason.
The Markkanen move's mainstream?
I mean, that's what everybody says. Trade Giddey in the picks for Markkanen.
Wouldn't the LeBron trade be more mainstream?
Who the fuck is saying LeBron to OKC right now?
ESPN, maybe.
No, they're saying LeBron to the Knicks and LeBron to the Warriors.
You can put LeBron anywhere.
LeBron anywhere but the Lakers, apparently.
Exactly. LeBron getting views.
LeBron's gonna. I mean, he's a free agent this offseason, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
And the Lakers are gonna have to do some shit to convince him to stay.
If not this year, then next year for sure.
Let's move on though. 3-seed LA Clippers.
Contenders, they're really the only, other than the Nuggets, which that was an obvious pick regardless. I don't think we need to explain about that. But other than the Nuggets right now in the West, the Clippers are, in my opinion, the only true contenders throughout the entire conference.
Yeah, I'd agree with both statements. Contender and and them and the Nuggets are the true contenders. But yeah, don't need to spend time on the Nuggets. Contender.
With Clippers, one thing like weakness, obviously health. Can the big three of Kawhi, PG, and Harden all stay healthy, which they've really been able to the entire
and they're
year.
They're playing. Ty Lue
Playing the league
before
as well.
the season was talking about the importance of actually getting home court and playing together as a team and building the chemistry.
Right, and also the other thing I meant to say was the big depth. Zubac really being the only big on their roster.
I mean, they got
forward.
two serviceable backups.
Cool.
Plumlee and Tice. Tice was good for them. When Plumlee was hurt and it was Zubac, I think Plumlee should be out of the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be Zubac and Tice.
I don't trust Tice in a playoff setting. I'm sorry.
But I mean, what do they need for
backup
him?
minutes?
8 minutes a game?
I understand that, but still, that could be a deciding factor in a conference where you have.
I mean, I trust him more than Mason
Jokic,
Plumlee, though.
And maybe if they were able to play the Lakers in a series and go up against AD, and even a team like Minnesota with both Cat and Gobert.
Nobody care about them weak ass bigs on Minnesota.
I'm just saying, like hypothetically.
Cat will get the clamps put on him by Kawhi or somebody. I mean, AG put the clamps on him last year.
Damn. But Aaron Gordon's like bigger than Kawhi though.
Yeah, but everybody you've heard all the quotes about Kawhi's core.
Oh, that
like that he's built like a robot.
Yeah.
I mean, who do they got at the 4 right now? Who do they got? At
Clippers?
The 4? Yeah.
Let's see, Harden,
PG.
I
Kawhi.
think Kawhi would be at the 4, right?
But then who? Oh, yeah, you're right. Because Terrence Mann is the 2.
Yeah.
Terrence Mann is the 2.
Yeah, Terrence Mann at 2 and PG as the 3.
Hey, Norm Powell is gonna be ridiculous in the playoffs. I'm so ready for it. He been shooting like I saw it the other day. It was like 45% on catch and shoot threes. That's gonna be all his looks in the playoffs.
Mainly stationary threes.
Yeah. Plus, they got like one of the best benches. Him, Russ, Amir Coffey, if you want to give him minutes.
Mm-hmm.
PJ Tucker probably will never touch the court. He might touch the court for like a situational thing.
Human victory cigar, man. You're not touching the court in serious minutes.
Did you see the shit? He got fined for requesting a trade.
He not playing. He shouldn't play serious NBA minutes again, bro. I'm sorry.
I won't say that. I won't say that. He was the best player in that Game 7 against the Celtics.
Okay, and they got blown up by 30. It didn't matter.
Yeah, but I'm saying he could give you a good 5 minutes, hit a corner 3 and get a rebound.
This man said this shit like during the game when he scored like 2 corner threes. Oh, but PJ Tucker's been stepping up for them. Bro, he ain't done anything except hit those 2 threes in the corner.
I said that when they were down by like 22.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't do anything else for the rest of the game. That whole Philly team didn't.
No, he had like 16 that game or some shit.
16?
Didn't he? Or did he finish single digits?
16.
I thought he was hooping that game.
That was a meaningless 16 points.
Well, they got blown out.
I forgot, man.
Game
no
7,
way he put up 16.
Game 7 versus Celtics. Or was it Maxey? Their leading scorer had like 16 or something.
I think it was like Tobias Harris.
No, was it? I low-key be forgetting about Tobias
Bro,
Harris.
he dropped 11 points.
That's career high. No, I'm playing. Damn, PJ Tucker's. I think by the time PJ Tucker's done with his career, I think he's gonna be like an Ish Smith type.
Okay, so right now?
No, not like that. I mean, like he's gonna play for half the teams in the league.
Oh.
Because who has he played for already? The Raptors, Suns, Rockets, Bucks, Heat, Sixers, Clippers. We're at 7 right now.
Did we?
7.
I'm pretty sure he played for other teams too. Or did we already say the Suns?
I said Suns.
Okay.
I said Suns. That might be it, low-key.
Yeah, that's all the teams.
Suns, yeah. That might be it. 7 right now, though. And he's going to try to be in the league at least a couple more years.
Yeah, that's not happening. That shouldn't happen. I'm sorry. PJ Tucker, he made a great living, great story. If you haven't looked at his story, go look it up, man. Great journey in the NBA. Got a lot of bread. NBA champ, but nah, man. Boy, you washed up. Jeff Teague, podcast co-host. This is in the near future for that man.
Nah, join all the smoke with Matt Barnes.
All the smoke will be solid as well.
But he doesn't have a voice for podcasting. His voice is awful.
Man, all you gotta do is crack some jokes.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is crack some jokes and talk about like your past experiences in the NBA.
All right.
That's how Jeff Teague got by. Which, again, shout out Jeff Teague. Podcast is a must listen. Great listen all the time.
5 seed, Phoenix Suns. Contender or pretender?
Pretender.
And why?
And why? I was about to say something like say a joke, but nah.
Say it with your chest.
I'm gonna say it on my chest. Nah. Again, like okay, one thing, Bradley Beal and his health moving forward.
He's been good lately, though.
Again, yeah, he's been good, but the injury health, but the overall availability for him when it comes down to the postseason, like that's a huge factor. And also with Yusuf Nurkic, him being a weak rebounder that he is, and the not really as impactful paint presence and post defense. Well, basically inside in general when it comes to rim protection. I think that's going to be a major issue for them moving forward, as well as a lack of non-reliable three-point shooters outside of a Grayson Allen, to where, okay, we can just focus on KD and Durant. I said KD and Durant. Oh, my God. KD and Book. Them taking the majority of the shots, and we can focus on them with the game plan and to sag off on guys like Royce O'Neal and Okogie when he has minutes as well. Have them be us with their shot in the open court.
Give me the Phoenix Suns as contenders.
Hell no.
7-2 in their last 9. They've been looking good lately, and I think they're slowly starting to figure it out. Bradley Beal's finally starting to understand his role, and he's actually starting to look good these last couple games. Alex, I will continue to try to trade for him in fantasy now that he's good.
That man sucks.
Who?
Alex? His team sucks. Man, he sucks in basketball and football. You're trash, dude. I hope you hear this.
I hope we can admit now I'm the best person on waivers or free agency in both leagues, fantasy and basketball.
Bro, this man, Matt, you're really sneaky with it.
Bro, I be having some good pickups.
Man, you act like he's Danny Ainge.
I picked up Brandon Miller, Keontae George, Jaden Ivey, all in 1 year. I be a waiver wire demon, as they say.
Bro, I need a wing so bad. I need like a small forward, bro.
We can talk trade.
Bro, you're gonna give me some bullshit trade. I can already tell.
Hey, I did one trade in fantasy basketball this year.
What was the trade? Oh no, I remember that trade you did with Owen, bro. That was on.
Well, that got vetoed.
That's tampering.
Oh, it was for fucking RJ Barrett. I was gonna drop the other dude. I was gonna drop Chris Paul.
For tampering.
I got Chris Paul to chance.
Let me look this trade up.
It was Marcus Smart and Josh Hart for RJ and Chris Paul.
Man, that's ass.
So basically, it's Marcus Smart and Josh Hart for RJ Barrett.
No.
Because I was going to drop Chris Paul for Keontae George.
Okay.
And then when I got vetoed, I just picked up Keontae like the next day.
Right.
My trade that went through, it was Cat. So I got Cat and B.I. Did I get somebody else? I don't think I got somebody else. For Paul George, Vince Williams. I gave up somebody else. I can't remember who. I can't remember. I might have to look. But back to the Suns while I pull this up. They just got the talent. You got arguably, we always say Lakers should be contenders because they got 2 top 10 players. This team has 2 top 10 players plus better role players than the Lakers, in my opinion. You got Bradley Beal as a third option. I don't think the Lakers got a third option that good. Grayson Allen's been 50, 40, 90 this year. Royce O'Neal's a good addition on the bench. Since Grayson Allen has been in the starting lineup, with the starting lineup being Booker, Allen, Beal, KD, and Nurkic, they've had the number 1 offensive efficiency. Now, the defense you obviously worry about. Thankfully, they were able to bring in Royce O'Neal. They still do have Josh Okogie off the bench. But I do like them having a championship coach in Frank Vogel, and so I will take them as contenders. 5 seed. They're probably – so the top 4 is the top 4. They're probably the 5th best team in my opinion outside the top 4.
Lack of rim protection, rebounding, as well as over-reliance on jump shots, specifically mid-range. When it comes down to it, the Suns, I get it. Like you said, Matt, they have 2 of the top 10 players in this league with with KD and Book, but I just don't see it. I really don't.
Yo,
No,
I do.
no,
I think that this team's well, if I'm ranking them, they're probably my third or fourth contender. Because I do have another contender on this list. You might be able to guess based off prior conversations.
I think I have them as a contender as well too.
Okay, nicely done.
Yeah.
We'll see. So they're probably my third or fourth, but I do think that this team, if KD can be KD that we know, if Book can be Book that we know, that if those two are showing up the way they did last year in the playoffs, plus you get Bradley Beal to fill in now, plus you have Nurkic instead of Ayton, plus you have Royce O'Neal as a serviceable piece, plus Grayson Allen might be able to do something, plus you don't have Monty anymore, you have a championship winning coach in Frank Vogel. I'll take my chances. Okay. If I miss, I can say I took a chance on 2 top 10 guys.
Fair. That's fair.
6 seed New Orleans Pelicans.
Pretender, but they are a very interesting team. They could honestly beat anybody based off their talent alone.
Oh,
especially the Clippers.
Back to the trade. It was B.I. and Cat for Paul George, Clint Capella, and Vince Williams.
You said B.I. and Cat?
B.I. and Cat.
Man, that shit's ass. That's such tampering, man.
Bring it up with Danny.
That's ass.
Bring it up with Danny.
I would have been vetoed that.
You didn't veto it.
I ain't pay attention to it. I ain't pay attention.
Nah, Cat ain't been on shit though for fantasy. I mean, he's 43, 16, 40, 26, 58, 28.
Okay, so you got both Cat and who else?
Brandon
BBI for basically you trade away Paul George and two ass players in fantasy.
Nah, Vince is good in fantasy.
Clint Capella's ass in real life too, but that's for another day.
He's been out. He was solid though. He averages 32 points.
Yeah, Okongwu should have had his minutes from.
He should. But listen to Vince Williams' points: 54, 40, 30, 35, 54. Don't tell me that's ass. He putting up better numbers than Bi.
Hey man, Vince Williams is gonna be a great rotation piece for.
Hey, this year might be a blessing in disguise for the Grizzlies.
No, I'm thinking the same thing too.
Yeah. Because they're gonna get high pick too.
Yeah, high pick and
G.G. Jackson, Vince Williams emerged.
At least with everybody being out, all their key guys, the young guns stepping in, like you said, Matt, G.G. and Vince Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Very good pieces moving forward for the rotation because initially with this Grizzlies team heading into the year, it's just the lack of true bench players that you can really count on moving forward. Like guys like Santi Aldama, David Roddy, are they really
Big body,
consistent NBA players? Can you really count on them in your rotation on a night in, night out basis?
Well, Santi's been starting for them.
Well, that's fair.
Santi's fine. He's gonna play either way because they traded Xavier Tillman, so it's gonna be Brandon Clark and him as the backup bigs. But the one thing I don't like is that they had to trade Steven Adams.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Steven Adams might be cooked moving forward.
What was the injury?
It was lower body. I think it was with the knee. It had to be with the knee.
Yeah, that's not great then.
Yeah.
Pelicans though, pretenders, one of the most talented teams in the league. Just they got to figure out. One, they got to figure out who their starting 5 should be, their best 5, and 2, they got to figure out the head coach.
Who I don't think he's good.
Willie Green?
Willie Green.
No, that's what I'm saying. They got to figure out the next head coach.
I think, in my opinion, he's towards the bottom tier of head coaches.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that they should pick up Darvin Ham when he's available this offseason. No, I'm playing.
Hey, give Jordan Hawkins more minutes, man.
For real.
That guy's a beast. He's a dog.
For real. Number 7 seed, Dallas Mavericks.
Contenders.
Lovely. This was my third contender in the West.
Perfect dark horse fit. Their record as of right now, it's misleading, really.
They're a game out of the 5 seed.
Yeah, and you have to factor in the injuries they've had throughout the year. Kyrie being out for a good amount of this season, and when he's been out absolutely healthy, him and Luka, obviously they've been an elite duo with their shot creating and scoring in general, and plus with the trade deadline, which we've both had the same sentiment that they're one of the biggest winners from the deadline, getting both Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, two reliable guys in the rotation that they can count on come postseason time. I think with the talent they currently have, they have a chance.
Absolutely. This team, what was it? 2 years ago was in the East. It was in the Western Conference Finals, and now instead of having Jalen Brunson and Luka as your backcourt, you have Kyrie and Luka as your backcourt, and instead of having, what was it, Finney Smith and Maxi Kleba as their starting front court, you have.
Oh, and I was about to say like Reggie Bullock too. He had a great shooting.
Yeah, and now you have Tim Hardaway, you have PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. It's a much deeper team, and it's a much more talented team. And you combine those two factors along with having a dude who's putting up MVP numbers, Kyrie who's been putting up all-star numbers when he's been healthy. It's just a recipe for success, and I do think that they are a true dark horse. Outside of the Nuggets and the Clippers, they are my favorite out the West.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, I could definitely see this Dallas roster currently right now making a deep run, even to the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now, like, an issue could be their scoring outside of Luka and Kyrie, which,
But I think the new guys help with that a lot.
That's true.
Because, I mean, you still have Jaden Hardy off the bench, professional scorer. Which he didn't take the step that I wanted him to take this year.
No, I thought he would have been done that by now.
But Tim Hardaway can still knock it down with the best of them. PJ, obviously, we know he's a good offensive player. And then even if Luka might not be hitting a shot, he now has two great pick-and-roll players in a Daniel Gafford and a Derek Lively.
Yeah, and then you still have capable three-point shooters like a Josh Green and even a Dante Exum too as well.
Right. And as opposed to these other years, you do have the defense now with a Daniel Gafford, with a Derek Lively, with a Josh Green and Dante Exum. Like, this team finally has defense around him. Luka's actually bought into defense for the most part, although there's some plays where he's still old Luka.
He doesn't give a shit, which with his high usage rate, okay,
yeah,
that's fine, but
But, like, if this team can just be, like, middle of the pack defensively with their offense, they could be very scary. Let's move on. 8 seed Sacramento Kings. Pretender. They might not make it the playoffs this year.
That is a very good possibility. If they were able to play against the Lakers, which that's the most likely spot for them right now, in that eighth and ninth. Well, yeah.
They play winner of.
Oh no.
If they lose to the Mavericks,
the 7th and 8th matchup would be
them and the
Mavs, which I would take Dallas to win that game. And if they were to play either the Lakers or the Warriors, that'd be a bad matchup moving forward as well. So there could be a true possibility that they could miss the playoffs.
Warriors got their number and Lakers got size. But
do not bet against 30 against the Kings.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Pretender for me. Good story. They just haven't taken the steps that you wanted.
No, defense is still not great. It's very mediocre as well. No true 3-and-D guys. Sabonis, he's been having an MVP caliber year, top 10 in the MVP voting. He should be in there as well. But when it comes to the playoffs and the game slowing down, I still don't trust him being a great offensive player in the half court.
Can we move on?
Oh no, I just want to get that off.
Okay. We'll talk about the 10 seed later. I have a phenomenal question that I saw on Twitter the other day that I'm eager to ask you about the 10 seed Warriors. But before that, 9 seed Lakers. Contender or pretender?
Pretender. Yeah, pretender. It's just, I mean, I understand that they've been really picking it up with their performances late recently, especially with them moving towards a starting lineup of D'Lo, Reeves, Braun, and then Rui post-Vandal injury, as well as AD at the 5 spot, which statistically has been a very solid starting 5. But at the same time, there's too many question marks with this team when it comes to Darvin Ham, especially with his coaching ability, and them still really being a middle-of-the-pack team when it comes to both offense and defense. I just don't see it, even though they still have LeBron and AD moving forward.
Yeah, they do got the 2 top 10 guys, as we talked about. But we mentioned earlier how with a Malik Beasley, if he's not hitting a shot, he's basically ineffective on the court, and he's not really doing his thing. And we saw the same thing with D'Angelo Russell last year. And there's a chance, we're talking about the top 2 teams. The 2 seed has Lou Dort as a defender, and the 1 seed is the Minnesota Timberwolves, known for defense. So there's a very real possibility that D'Lo could struggle in the first round, and if that's the case, then him being as phenomenal as he was prior to the trade deadline could evaporate. And part of why the Lakers have been so good recently is because D'Angelo Russell has been looking like an all-star version of himself. And I think that you have to put him in pretenders because I don't think we're getting that D'Angelo Russell in the playoffs. I just don't think we're getting that D'Angelo Russell in the playoffs. All right. Anything you want to add about the Lakers?
To Danny Johannes, I don't like you. I hate your guts.
I asked him if he wanted to join the pod today, but he said he got work.
Yeah, because he's scared that we were going to bake the Lakers, so it don't matter.
It don't matter.
All right.
10 seed Golden State Warriors. Contenders or pretenders?
Pretender easily. They've been playing really well. But
they're the most mid team. 14-14 at home, 13-12 on the road.
Yeah, there's too many red flags. They can't score inside. No true rim pressure within this roster. Still very small with their size, which can get exploited. They haven't been playing really well defensively with Draymond coming back from his suspension.
No.
He's been very nice, but
Kuminga since the cut's been great.
Yeah, Kuminga, that's a nasty ass cut. I don't think we talked about his cut on his podcast before, but that Kuminga cut is nasty as shit.
It's nappy, huh?
Curious George ass cut, man. Curious George ass cut, bro. He should have kept his previous cut, bro.
You know who I feel bad for though?
Who though?
Clay.
Oh.
All jokes aside, Clay. Well, one, let's just start with this. Clay's a free agent this offseason, and that man, I don't think I've ever seen somebody sell a bag harder than Clay's been selling himself this year. You talk about the late game foul against, who was it? Was it in that Clippers game?
It was the Clippers game.
Where they were up, where they were down 30 seconds left, and he intentionally fouls right away. And everybody, including the commentators, knew it was a mistake. Losing his starting spot to Podziemski, not hitting the 3-ball efficiently, just not looking like Clay in general. And to have all that, trying to come off 2 injuries where you got a payday, or where you have a payday that's supposed to come up, and the free agency that's coming up, it's tough. It's tough for him.
Oh, I just got a notification on my phone. Breaking news, the Washington Wizards have benched Jordan Poole.
Wow. So who started now? Is it Bilal? Because Bilal's a 2.
I would love Koulibaly to start.
I would too. It might be Denny though.
Hey, shout out Denny Advia.
He had a 40-point game.
I've been known for the longest that they should give my boy Denny the keys, man. He should have been giving my boy Denny the keys. Yeah, stop giving the ball to Jordan Poole, give to Denny Advia. And kind of like while we're on this topic, a hot take I kind of have on Jordan Poole. You gotta get sent to the G League, man.
Nah.
That G League calling, man.
Nah. I don't know. It's tough for him because he's on the Wizards, so he's like, Jordan Poole's the last person you want to not give a fuck. And Wizards are like not give a fuck basketball.
Yeah.
If he could, I just think he needs to be in a good culture. But he should not be starting.
At all.
What's a good organization for him? I said good culture, but he would be horrible in heat culture.
No, he'd be baked the first day.
I would not mind him.
Orlando?
How do you know I was about to say Orlando?
Bro, it was realistically, Orlando's a good pick.
Orlando's a good pick because they got the defense around him. Yeah. And they need offense.
Badly too.
But he's been ass this year.
Yeah, he's been very bad. One of the worst players in the league. I just feel like with him, he's still young, got a lot of potential. But at this point, Wizards, it don't gotta be a long period of time. Just go down there for a week, get the fundamentals back going, get your confidence back, and let's move on.
He gonna get sent to the G. You know how long you're gonna take for his confidence to get back? Jordan Poole in the G. His confidence after the Draymond thing, after getting traded to the Wizards, now the G League, the Ice Spice date where he spent $500,000. It's got to be at an all-time low.
All right, that's fair.
All right, we're going to end with this question.
Okay.
And I saw this on Twitter. If you add Victor Wembanyama to the Golden State Warriors, are they a contender?
Easily.
Are they your favorite out of the West?
No.
Where would they be? Or would they be like your second favorite, your third favorite?
Probably, yeah, third. They'd be right there.
I think they'd be my second favorite.
Bro, Wemby with Steph in that pick and roll handoff game, like that's a cheat code.
And like the Warriors' biggest problem is size.
Yeah.
You have size. You got basically you have
a top 5 shot protector in the league right now.
If Wemby was on a winning team, you'd be hearing way more DPOY for Wemby. He's averaging like 3 blocks a game.
But you don't, because the Spurs are absolutely terrible.
They are the 3rd worst team in the league.
Yeah, I want them to be so much better than they are this year, man. Like, they're not even watchable outside of Wemby, bro.
Nah, they're not.
It's not a good product at all. I've been stopped like watching like full on Spurs games since like November, December, just because they're like absolutely horrendous.
You know what I'm worried about? I think not worried necessarily. I mean, Chet's had a phenomenal rookie year, but I think I don't know. I think Wemby's the rookie of the year, but I think Chet's gonna win it. I think
rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Bro, what's going on fucking Wemby?
Nah.
How is it not going to Wemby?
Because too many of the voters care about winning.
And winning? It's rookie of the year.
So the dude who's has the 3rd best defense in the league.
Oh, rookie.
And Chet's been a defensive anchor. Like, we can't say Chet hasn't been phenomenal defensively. Chet's been outstanding on defense this year. And we're talking about the Thunder being an undersized team too, and we have ignored that all year because of Chet. And they're the 2nd best team in the stacked West.
Bro, you still give it to Wemby. When it comes to the criteria for the rookie of the year, the criteria is based on who has the better stats and who has stayed healthy for the most part throughout the season.
Chet's been healthy the whole year. They've both been.
They've both been. And who got the better stats? Wemby. Case closed.
I don't know.
You win a rookie of the year.
Does he?
It's Wemby.
Go to get what Chet's averaging. I got Wemby. Wemby's 2010 3-3.
Efficiency?
I can find that for you.
Chet's averaging 17, 8 boards, 3 assists, 3 blocks on 54% from the field, 39% from 3, 77% from the line.
So he got better splits everywhere but free throw. Wemby is 46 from the field, 32 from 3, and 81 from the free throw line. Now, if Wemby's on the Thunder,
you gotta add the fact that
you playing on the Spurs.
Yeah, on the Spurs with no really like
other
like
threat
great,
other than Vassell.
Yeah, no other great offensive threat other than Vassell.
Nah, I just think I don't know. I mean, you think Greg Popovich is gonna bench Wemby later in the season?
Why?
Keep him healthy.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, depending what happens with the Hornets, because Hornets been winning a little bit lately. Yeah. But the Hornets are like 2 games above the Spurs. The top 3 teams each have 14% chance in the lottery odds. They're the worst 3 teams, and the Spurs right now are the 3rd worst. So they're on that borderline. If they feel like they're creeping up too much, maybe.
Nah, just keep putting them on a minutes restriction. Really, don't. Well, towards the end of the year, don't make him play on a back-to-back, like second half of back-to-back. If you care that much about his health.
There were people saying that Spurs would be like competing for a playing spot before the year started. Yeah, I remember.
I wasn't on that really.
I wasn't either. I thought the Rockets would be, which they were for a while.
Yeah, there's like been too many holes with that unit.
Too many holes. They've dealt with a good amount of injuries too.
Ime head coaching wise has been disappointing.
No, I don't think Ime's to blame necessarily.
No, I'm not saying he's to blame, but with him being like labeled as an elite head coach during his time in Boston, and you compare that to this year, I just feel like it's a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd say one, injuries, like the vets that were huge for them early in the year, Brooks and Van Vliet, both missed double-digit amount of games. And then I think the young guys just didn't develop the way you wanted. Obviously, we've had our fair share of conversations about Jalen Green. I think Jabari Smith, I was expecting a jump from Jabari Smith myself.
From Jabari Smith, bro, he's been very solid.
Yeah, but like I thought he was actually going to be like he's been a good 4, but I thought he was going to be like 15-5-5.
15-5-5. Okay.
I mean, he's 13-8-1.
You said 15-5-5.
Not 5 assists, low key. Not, but like
That's
not like 15-6-3
okay.
with like a block. But like I thought he'd be helping out Şengün more on defense. I think Şengün's almost been better than him defensively. Which Şengün deserves the keys, which I think they've been giving him.
Yeah.
Is where am I seeing Judge won't dismiss suit against Dwight Howard?
Hey, moving on. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we can wrap. We can wrap that up.
Whoa! I didn't even know about this charge, but yeah,
we can wrap that up.
We
will wrap it up. Yeah, let's go home. Let's go home.
You want to get yourself here?
Yeah, let's do. If you guys have stuck around watching this video, we appreciate the love and support. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, all at the handle at Lunchroom Debates. We post there daily with daily clips and highlights and other stuff from the sports world. So it would be great if you guys could drop a quick follow and subscribe. And yeah, man, that's it.
That's it. Keep killing it on YouTube. Y'all are showing some love, so keep killing it on YouTube.
Indeed.
And we'll keep posting.
For sure, man. Hey, we out though. Peace out, man.
Peace.